What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the first interview here on Top Rope Writing of the audio variety, and I am your host, James Lascuola, and I couldn't have thought of any better way to kick this off than with my guest today. He is a man of many things. He is a deathmatch star. He is a top star in MLW, a double champion of MLW, and above all, he is the Death Fighter, AKIRA.
Heyo, what's
Man,
up, dude?
glad to be sitting down with you today, Kira. I mean, I try not to play favorites on the interview front, but this is one of the interviews that I do look forward to on the calendar.
Well, I mean, it's almost like, we're friends or something. You got a direct line to me. I gave you the brother rate. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like you got one up on me here.
Fair point, fair point. I mean, I like to think these are like, with this being the third year in a row we've been doing this pretty much. It's almost like a yearly checkpoint for you at this point because it feels like the ball's just rolled further and further from each interview on, I swear.
That first interview with God, that was what, 2020, right?
2021. This was going into what was supposed to be your first Mania weekend.
Oh, yeah, and then I got COVID, and
Yeah.
the other one went. Don't worry, guys. Akira is ICW born and bred. True and true. He will be back.
You heard this here first, folks. He will be back.
Allegedly.
Oh, well, starting off with that checkpoint in mind, I mean, how is the Akira of today different from the Akira of March 2022?
March 2022 or March 2021, because either way, I feel so much older, so much more, I wouldn't say jaded, but I feel much more free in terms of what I want to do in pro wrestling. Me last year at this time, I'd say was actually pretty depressed, trying to find, a purpose in wrestling. I felt like I was just like treading water. Sure, I just signed MLW, but like I did that almost apprehensively because I didn't know what I was doing and where I was going. But then this year, a lot of that stuff changed. Like if I'm gonna be completely honest, when I had that fucking terrible ass G Raver match, it rocked me to like my artistic core, where it actually bothered me. Like honestly, all through last year and into this year, it truly bothered me. I felt like I wasn't good. Everything just felt wrong after I had that match. And it took a lot of insight and a lot of, some might say illegal paraphernalia to kind of come to terms with myself spiritually. But I also had a match this year where when it happened, in full disclosure, it was the speedball match. I said in my head, this has to be the thing that clears my conscience and clears my soul, because that G-Raver match really fucked with my head. And I said, this is going to be where I'm baptized again and I'm reborn. Sure, I've had like good to great matches through the last couple of years, but like before that G-Raver match, it was bang, 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 bang. Something just felt off with it. But once I had that speedball match and, my back got sent into the shadow realm, I truly feel like a completely different person. And then a couple more things of a mushroom variety. I really came to a spiritual understanding of who I am and where I want to be in this world. And ever since then, it's been off to the races. And ever since the speedball match, like you don't not hear my name, I feel like, again, and it feels good again.
Oh, for sure. I mean, sometimes it really does just take a couple knees to the back and a handful of shrooms to set you right.
And a couple kicks to the head.
Those as well.
I mean that in full, like, I seriously mean that in full disclosure. Like, that match truly felt like a baptism. I came out of that like reborn. It felt like, and that I really, really, really needed that.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, in this time as well, I was even here for kind of I would say one of the defining moments of sort of this, current arc and this current timeline we're talking about, where at ICW's last show in Cambridge, I mean, you came out and said, the Death Samurai is dead. And lo and behold, we'd see you kind of metamorphosize into what we know now as the Death Fighter. Now,
Yep.
What led to this kind of change in your identity?
To be perfectly honest, when I signed with MLW and they told me my direction of you're going to be you're going to be in the SEAL group, right? in my head, I knew that I couldn't be that kid anymore. And a kid in the ring, a kid in life. It's like, it's time to grow up a little bit. The Death Samurai, he didn't do anything dirty. He was always respectful in the ring. Um, I felt inhibited in a way. Like, part of the crazy me was being locked away due to it. And like, even because there was even a time period where I said I wasn't going to eat glass anymore. I was just kind of going. I mean, I was going off like someone in my life was just like they didn't like it at the time, and I said okay. And I was just giving into things and giving into people, and I felt pretty stagnant. When I was, like I was telling you, through this last year, I just felt stagnant, and that was in what, March this year, when I said that, March, April, whatever the fuck it was.
Yep, yep.
It was earlier. And I just felt it was time, especially Sean had just passed, Ref Sean SPO just passed. And in my heart and in my head and in that moment, I said, I'm tired of being the guy who doesn't accept who he is. I'm tired of being the guy who doesn't own up to how good he can be and is. And I think it was a part of me also wanted to say, it's not my fault that match was bad. I wasn't the one high on meth. I was ready to go. I had trained for Drew Parker. I was ready to go. And when I said that, a part of me felt cleansed, but it wasn't, an exorcism takes, a couple tries generally, right?
Yeah.
And in this case, it took a couple matches. But when I wrestled Speedball, it was like Exorcist 3. It was that last moment where it was, I believe in death. I believe in disease. I believe in greed. And then the demon gets shot out. And now I think I'm putting out probably some of the best work that I've been doing in a long time. This past month, ever since I had that Speedball match, it's just been bang, 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 bang. And I see my name, I see my presence just kind of everywhere again. And it feels better. I truly feel like cleansed. But that's where it came from. It was an artistic decision. It was a personal decision. It was a lot of things. All of my work in pro wrestling is truly personal, whether people believe it or not. People can think AKIRA is a character. AKIRA is me. AKIRA is a super extension of me. You know me. You know how I am. AKIRA is just me. If I was unhinged and if there was no rules, I would be biting people. I would be fucking like, I would hurt people if they tried to hurt me. But I'm also a good person at the end of the day. Like, AKIRA is like the giant anime personification of who I am.
Absolutely there. And I mean, part of this to another big, and I believe that is Coda Puppy we're hearing in the background.
Yeah, Coda, enough. Nobody there. Weirdo.
That was
poor for me, little prick.
Well, Coda Puppy cameo aside, you also got to make another transition in this time period, going from the Midwest out in Indiana over to New York, one of the biggest cities in the world. I mean, personally and professionally, what does this move look like for you?
Other than being a complete shit show, because I had to go through a wreck and a whole bunch of other things, it was very indicative of, my life. It was very chaotic. The move took a lot out of me, but I'm happy that I did it because I wouldn't be where I'm at right now in pro wrestling. It took some time because once again, I felt kind of a lull. I felt in a rut. I didn't feel like I was really going anywhere, but now things just feel very different. I feel like all the decisions I did make in the past led up to now, and I'm doing really good things with MLW. I'm one of the premier guys, which is wild to think about. I never thought I'd be any kind of television promotions premier person. I'm here with my dog, my guinea pigs. My streaming has gotten better. My fan base has gotten better. My creativity has grown in so many different ways. If you keep an eye on my Twitch, you'll know what I'm talking about. But just in life and in general, I went from being a small town kid to a guy living in a big city, and people said I would hate it, and I just took to it. And eventually it finally got to me. And now in the ring, you can kind of see a little bit of the New Yorker in me, because I ain't taking nobody's shit.
Most definitely. I mean, as a kind of, coming into New York and having been here for over a year finally, or at this point rather, what are some of the things you're liking and not liking in the city? I mean, like kind of what's the culture shock like for you coming from Indiana?
So it was just there's just so much. There's so much around you at all times, and I guess that's what I like about it because my like ADD roller brain, which I'm not diagnosed, but people, if you know me, I'm kind of frenetic. I'm always looking at, I'm always curious about new things. There's just things everywhere. It's always grabbing my interest. But it's also so much. It's pretty overwhelming, but in a good way. I really like stop and look around, and whenever I walk around, Masha gets mad because I stop and I just take a look. She goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "I'm looking around. I don't know. I'm seeing what all this is. This is cool to me." There's all these museums. There's so much culture. Going from being the lone Asian guy where I'd meet one every once in a while, like every month or so in Indiana or at a wrestling show, to there's literally just like subdivisions of like Asian culture, and I can go and I can hang out, and I kind of feel one with them, and it's nice to feel that way after a long time. Uh, and there's just so much food, so much like once it's so much food, so much culture, just so much stuff to do. And if you want to grow as a person and not say become more jaded to the world, but become more honest to what the world is like, this is the place to be because it's chaotic. Like the world includes the Midwest, it includes the country, it includes like the simple folks and the simple life, which I'm happy I came from. But the city is where generally a lot of things happen, where most things happen. And you get a touch of what reality and humanity is really like, from the street performers to the homeless people to the trash and the garbage and the rats, the birds to, Central Park. All like it's a myriad of different sights, smells that if you're really paying attention can really open your eyes to what the world is like. And I guess what I really don't like the most is that it's so fucking expensive, but we have a really good like living situation, and I'm essentially paying what I was paying in Indiana to live, which, is pretty okay, and I came out here, and because I came out here, I now have a sponsorship with Hitman Break Sports, and they're nothing but the best to me too. Like it's insane to think where I'm at now, where I've basically been living off wrestling, and that includes the sponsorship. I'm getting closer and closer to living that dream that people want to live.
Oh man, as one of the people that has, heard about it for a long while, it's good to see that, you have had this sort of growth and metamorphosis into this sort of, not to say situation, but sort of where you are right now as a whole.
I've truly become a different person, and people are kind of shocked at kind of who I've become lately. And I'm like, it's only logical that I kind of winded up like this, but I'm happy that I did.
Now, one of the things I wanted to touch on with your move to New York is your position at the Fallout shelter in New York as a trainer, taking on this role alongside others like Jorge, Santi, Prince Ahmed, Mike Law, and of course Masha Slamovich. Now,
Boo.
how have you taken to the role of trainer, and what would you say the most important thing you teach is?
So I guess it's always weird to me that I'm a teacher now. Because I mean, you and I have had this conversation for a while. I'd always joke like I could never be a teacher. I don't know who would want me to be a teacher. Like I never saw myself as it. And now here I am, and I have kids that call me dad, and kids that call me coach. Yeah, they call us mom and they call Mosh and I mom and dad at Fallout sometimes. And I legit didn't ask for the role. I just was showing up to help so I can get ring time. But little did I know, Masha was just basically like kind of grooming me to see if I'd be a good, like, as an assistant coach. And then one day I wake up and I get the notification of, welcome to the coaching team, AKIRA and Ahmed. And I'm like, what the fuck? I get texted and go, what the fuck? She goes, oh yeah, that's what we were doing. That's why we were having you come in all the time. Yeah, you're a coach now. You're getting paid. Have fun. And I go, thanks. I didn't say I wanted to coach. She said, but you're not, you didn't say no. And you're not going to say no. And I go, okay, you're right. You're fine. That's fine. You're right. But it's been a really engaging and thoughtful experience. Once again, that it really helped towards my growth in the ring. Like I'd say I've become sharper and even smoother in the ring because of it. My presence is different, and just the way I look at and view pro wrestling is different now because I have to understand what I'm doing and what I'm presenting to my students. And once again, I never thought I'd say my students either. There's people in the Midwest that are probably like, Akira's coaching people. And I'll be like, guess what, bitch? I'm fucking more successful than you. So yeah, I might as well be teaching them how to fucking do it while you're fumbling. But regardless, angry rant aside, um, it's legitimately like it's a question of it's a test of your knowledge and it's a test of growing your knowledge. But what I try to present to these kids because they have guys like Santi and Masha and Ahmed who came from Johnny Rod's school, so that's kind of like a very old school mentality of pro wrestling, and that's still needed. Like Masha, I also had that same kind of vibe if you've seen like the Gaia Girls doc. Which, by the way, if there's people that rag on the Gaia Girls doc because it's brutal, I'm gonna say don't ever get into an actual sport because you're fucking pathetic. They treat people like how a fighter is going to be treated. We treat some respect for the game, respect for the sport, even if you're doing comedy stuff that people might deem, a crime to the business or whatever. I still feel like there's still like people will talk shit about Effie, but Effie still has like a love for pro wrestling that I don't see in people that go to OVW. So I'm trying to instill that in the students because I'm not from a school like Johnny Rod's. I don't have some kind of lineage to my history. I'm not, I wasn't fucking like training at Marvelous and basically being Chigos Nagayo's fucking kid. I just wasn't. I'm me. I'm the guy from the Midwest who left on a dream from his family's house and loved Inokiism, loved fighting, and got into death matches. But I'm finding my way and I'm becoming more and more successful as each day passes. And I'm not killing myself for nothing. All my matches generally have a purpose and I'm getting paid generally what I wanted. I'm not packed every weekend, but part of me is happy I'm not doing that yet because it's not worth the pay at the moment. However, I want to teach that independent artist free spirit to those students. I want to teach them what they don't teach at these schools about being your own business. About like if you saw, I had basically like a thread today on T-shirts, on merchandising about being your own artist in the ring and being different and standing out. Because if there's one thing that I do well, it's stand out. I was having a discussion with someone about, oh, look, it's someone who's a very good wrestler. How entertaining. I could say I am someone who presents himself as a real fighter, even though like I've never had any actual like recorded fights that aren't, in like in hallways or something at a school or in the back of a street. I've done grappling training, but when people watch me, they believe, but I'm also more that people think I'm crazy. People think I'm funny. There's nuances to me that I don't have to overly state. I'm not just some gimmick character. And I say, if I can do this, anyone can do this. I'm trying to just present things that will help them not just function in terms of a professional environment, but also help them on an independent level to stand out. Because a lot of them are just kind of want to fall into the same treads of what everyone else is doing. And I'm literally telling them that's not going to work for you. It's not. You're not Will Ospreay. Be you. Be something different. Watch other kinds of wrestling. So many people, some of them are stuck on WWE or AEW. And I'm like, there's other things, guys. There's other things, and you can see something that you like and that you might want to imitate, and you're going to spawn off it. And some of them really get it. Like I've been doing some trainings with no ropes, and we just do kind of like blood sport style. And like one of them was shocked when I just threw them out of the ring. And I said, when did I say you couldn't leave the ring? And they were like, oh. And I go, use your brains. Use your brains. Think bigger. Think broader. Make it fun. Make it interesting. And that's just the kind of spontaneity and the creativity that I want to instill in them. Because they watch me. They see me. They see my back. They see all my scars. But it's very interesting to have these students come to me and ask me for questions and actually take me seriously. Where a lot of the Midwest kind of just like shrug me off. Now I have actual students at an actual school where I get paid to coach, and they generally do what I say, and it works for them, and it makes me happy to see that it works.
Oh, of course, it sounds like you really, really have taken to this role of coach quite well.
I never thought I would, but I guess I did, and I legit feel a part of the family. And it's nice.
Oh, no doubt about that. But, kind of jumping into the current wrestling goings on in your career. I mean, first and foremost, let's talk about your time in MLW so far, which I mean, for being only in MLW for just much of this year, you've really left your mark already, having already become a double champion with both the middleweight and tag titles on your shoulders. I mean, just I think it's needless to say, but I'm assuming you're enjoying your time in MLW so far.
When I was going to sign, there were so many people saying, "Don't sign. What are you thinking? What are you doing?" And once again, I didn't know what I was doing really. I was trying to find something different that would work for me, because felt like I was treading water, and I still don't think I was prepared for what MLW is, for just like a TV style promotion like that. But they gave me the tools to learn, and they said, "We know you don't know that. That's why you're here, to learn and become better." And I always ask every single time if what things I can do, things I can work on. I have a great group of people around me that's either in the calling or around, just in the back. And I generally believe every time people, like, I get told by production, dude, you're just getting better and better and better and better. You're just especially this last weekend, I felt like I owned every time I came out. I just felt in the zone. Once I had that cleansing match with Speedball, I was like, I am a character that you cannot stop looking at. I feel untouchable. And it started working out for me. I cut promos now. I get told that they're really, really good. I'm getting a taste of the beast that is like television based professional wrestling, which we've also had this discussion. Once again, I never thought I'd do. I thought I was going to be kind of like independent deathmatch guy, and Masha was going to be the one going on fucking WWE one day and making all the money, and I'd just be the indie deathmatch fuck boyfriend, husband, whatever the fuck. And I was okay with it. But here we are, and, I'm doing more and more different things, and there's more things that are in the works that are going to be announced that are going to surprise people. And if they go the way I want, it's going to, once again, do what I want to do, which is embody deathmatch wrestling and represent it on levels that everyone said couldn't be done. But also being a double champ kind of rule. Like so far, I think I've made the middleweight belt, one of the most talked about belts on the independents. I've had maybe 4 matches for it on the indies, but one was against Masha and it ruled. And I just think that's good. If I can, MJF had that thing for how long, but he made it one of the most talked about belts on the independents. It was more talked about than the heavyweight championship belt. I am proud to be a champion of this company, and I'm happy to go out there and put on matches now, especially now that I feel cleansed, my spirit feels cleansed. I'm putting on matches of a caliber. I'm like, this is what I should have been doing for a long fucking time.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, with your activity, I mean, just outside of MLW too, it really does feel like that belt really, really does matter in the grand scale of MLW and overall. And I mean, on top of that, you also have found yourself in your time in MLW alongside the calling, which I mean, I gotta say is really cool that you're able to stand side by side with Raven, who is so, synonymous with an era of wrestling and with one of the most popular wrestling companies, just ever in ECW. But, being under Raven's learning tree, what have you picked up from Raven?
It's always the little things, in terms of, just selling, in terms of, honestly, my promo work has grown and changed so much because of Raven and RSP. Ricky is, Ricky's basically became the coach that I never had in terms of picking apart the little things. Tell me I'm doing good. Tell me that I'm learning, but he will analyze and break down the little things to make me better. That includes promo work. That includes things in the ring, which little or big, things that I didn't know because once again, I didn't have a formal coaching background trainer. And when I told him that, I never had a coach or anything like that where I came from. My training was very basic. I learned a lot on the fly. He understood, and he basically kind of took me under his wing, like a certain silver teeth asshole, and basically is just like a coach, a mentor, and never thought I'd be saying that. But I mean, that's the case, and it's apparent. And it's been nothing but beneficial for my in-ring work and in my work outside. You've seen me cut promos now, like in the ring, just talking, and people go, "That was a good promo. That was a good promo." Thank Ricky. Thank Raven. Um, it's always just like little things that they tell me that's like, "Oh shit, that makes the whole thing better." Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. And I feel like that's the little push that I need. I feel like I have a guide now. Like I have guides to get me to the level that I need to be, and I'm basically there. It's just now we're just fine tuning, and then it's me getting my body in even better shape, which this year has been with injuries and whatnot. It's been a bit of a topsy turvy thing, but I'm getting there more and more every time, and I'm feeling better about myself every day. I'm getting back in the gym. I'm working hard. I'm dieting. Like once we're done with this, I'm gonna go make a healthy meal of like some kind of like beef patty thing with and mangoes and a carb. Like I'm keeping track of stuff. I'm upping my protein, lots of water, a couple energy drinks because I mean it's just part of the grind. But I'm getting into the swing of things. I feel like I'm becoming a professional athlete, especially with the sponsorship where it's basically funding everything that I'm doing.
Oh, no doubt about it. You are certainly like looking like you're fitting that sort of thing. And really, with what you've picked up under the learning trees that you have with the calling, it's really apparent in your work that it is very much paying off dividends.
I got a couple compliments from people I never would have thought of. They told me, they said, we didn't know what to feel when you signed, but it's apparent that you're taking the ball that they're giving you and you're running with it. They see something in you, and they said legitimately it's awesome that it's working out for you when it didn't work out for other people. And I know it didn't work out for other people because those people would tell me I didn't have a good time. I didn't have a good time. But I feel like they're trying to change the perception. They're trying to change the environment. And I feel like MLW with, whatever help I put in, I feel like MLW is now hitting a stride again that they were when MJF was there, when other people were there, like Pentagon and all those other people. Mm-hmm. They have, New Japan talent coming in now. There's an actual partnership, it seems. We're hitting strides again, and it feels like the company is growing rather than just being, the laughing stock. So once again, I never write a company off because even Impact now is doing more and more and more, and people can't write them off anymore because the talent's so good. Like, while the big companies are doing their thing, the smaller companies are doing more and more for everyone else on the scene. And I think that's important.
Well, while we're looking down the pipeline of your career coming up, I mean, you have a huge step coming up in mere days where you are getting to step foot in Japan for the first time. How are you feeling going into this big excursion?
Part of me, like, you'd think nervous, but I feel content and I feel ready to go in there and kill myself to make a statement and make the point. I'm not going there just to have fun. I'm going there to do what basically no one has done proper and be the deathmatch gaijin, that the touring, the traveling, the deathmatch gaijin that will help elevate the scene, not just take and then go away. Because once again, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I'm doing death matches until I'm retired. Like that's just the name of the game. And I don't plan to retire for a long time. I don't care how much I hurt, how much, pain I'm in. This is the only thing I was meant to do. And that's professionally wrestle. So my goal when I get there is to make a splash, make a statement, and basically say, hey, I'm here. I'm going to help. I'm going to be the guy that elevates our scene and helps every place that I go. That includes Big Japan. That includes any other company I set foot in. I'm not coming there just to be some other fucking guy. And I'm just excited to be in a place that I've wanted to be ever since I was a kid. When people were calling me names, and I don't know if you're going to sense this stuff, but when people were calling me like, Jap and other stuff when I was a kid, I used to hate being me. And I'm going to be the place where I always felt like I should be. I always felt like I was like alienated and isolated in the wrong part of the world. I've got family in Korea. I think I have some family in Japan. And being able to be there and be across the world doing the things that I want to do is everything. People that told me no, people that told me that I would be nothing, I was useless, I was trash. I'm going to Japan without them, without their help, without any big companies sending me over with or taking me over there with them. On my own merits, I did it. And that's something nobody can take away from me. And they especially can't take it away from me if I'm there to stay. If they keep bringing me back and back and back and back while they stay behind until some company decides to take them over. That's the goal. That's the mission statement. And I already know there's fans there that are excited to see me, which once again is crazy to me that there's fans across the world I have never met. They've just seen my work on the American Indies, and they don't question who I am. They don't question my heritage. They don't just say I'm white. They say, we love AKIRA. And when Masha went over there with GCW, she told me, like, there was tons of fans just coming up in your merchandise, and they were asking about you. So I'm ready to go there and say, hey, I'm here. I want to stay. So let's do this damn thing.
And I know personally, I mean, for the past, 3 or 4 years that we've known each other, I mean, I've always remember you saying, Japan's the goal, Japan's the goal. And I mean, I can't help but feel excited for you now that it's finally here and you're at the goal line and you're ready to make that first impression.
I am ready to do more than make that first impression. I'm ready to have match of the year candidates there. And I'm there to make a splash and surprise people and truly show people how crazy I am. I think maybe when I come back, I'm going to become an even further changed man. If I come back. I have to say I'm contractually obligated to come back because of MLW, but the time comes, and if Masha and I can go over there and stay over there, that's where we're going to stay.
Well, man, I mean, you mentioned it too, you're coming into Big Japan Pro Wrestling, and I mean, your name, of course, you also mentioned that your name has already made the rounds out in Japan, and I mean, it's even reached as far as one individual, and I am talking about the Crazy Kid, Masashi Takeda, multiple-time deathmatch champion in Japan. I mean, he name-dropped you in a Big Japan promo. I mean, what was your initial thoughts on seeing this, and do you have any words for the Crazy Kid right now?
I was just scrolling through Twitter, and I just saw a promo get posted, and I saw it was Takeda, and Takeda has a very interesting way of talking, in terms of his promos. And I like to listen to him talk, even if there's no subtitles I can't understand. However, when I heard him say AKIRA, I stopped. I looked at the tweet, and I saw the katakana for AKIRA, which I got that shit down memorized. I'm learning the language. I'm going to learn it in Korean. But I saw that, I knew what it was, because I write that shit every time I sign an 8x10 or anytime I sign anything. And I stopped and I sent it to my friend. I said, hey, can you translate what he's saying to me? And she had just simply said this: he's calling you out to fight you. And I stopped and I said, how many times in the past couple of years have we heard people calling out Takeda in America?
Multiple times.
And I've never been that guy. I'm not someone who's going to go out and yell, best in the world. Best in the world. I'm the best in the world. I don't need my fucking ego jerked like that. I don't need to go out and call out people for matches. The only time I ever called anything out was in 2020, December, when I said, Japan, I'm coming for you. 3 years later, motherfucker, I'm coming for you. And I'm going to say this. I heard my friend said, that Takeda said he's seen me wrestle, that I'm the one from the Baka Gaijin group that interests him. You have submissions. And you're crazy. I would love to fight you. When the Crazy Kid calls you crazy, it's a bit of a compliment. And I'm going to say this, Masashi Takeda, I'm game to fight you in the United States. I'm game to fight you in Japan. I'm game to fight you anywhere in the fucking world. And that's a matter of fact. Because I've been watching you ever since I started doing death matches. You've got submissions. You've got strikes. You've got everything. I look in the mirror. I see you. You look at me. I think you see a bit of me inside of you as well. And I'm going to enjoy the time when we meet, and I can drive my forehead into your forehead, and I can rock your world, and you can say, holy shit, he's here to kill me. Because Masashi Takeda, I'm not getting in that ring just to beat you. I'm getting in that ring to fucking kill you. Because that's exactly what you would like. That's what you respect.
Strong words coming before he even touches down in Japan. I respect that much. Wow, I'm so dumbfounded right now. I can't even friggin' talk straight. Holy shit.
I view it this way. That man and I guess it's on the impression that I've made. That man, it was the two-time, oh, not the two-time, he was the dual champion of Big Japan and Freedoms. He's calling me out to fight, and if he wants to fight, how else do I make the biggest splash possible in Japan than by fighting the fucking crazy kid? There isn't. Because I'm not coming there just to have fun. I'm coming there to win gold. I'm coming there to become a name in every Japanese household. And it's got to be through the crazy kid. Drew Parker did it. Other people have done it. I'm coming to kill him faster. I ain't got time to lose.
Well, my eyes will be firmly set on the feeds when this tour goes down. But I mean, I have to point out the fact that on top of this, I mean, you've wrestled just in the past year alone, you've wrestled in Canada, you've wrestled in England, you've wrestled in Germany, you've wrestled, I mean, I was there with you. I saw you wrestle in Australia. You know, you've gone worldwide practically in just the past year alone. I mean, if you went back and told yourself, you know, March 2022, going back to the start of this interview, that you would be wrestling in, you know, these 5 countries, would you have believed yourself?
It's a matter of, I felt like it would happen, but it was always a matter of when. However, when it came to stuff like Japan, in my head, I said, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, I just have to live with it. That's where I'm at in life. If things happen, it's amazing. But if they don't happen, I can't be upset about things that never happened because they just didn't happen. There was a reason it didn't happen, you know? But here we are. You know me, I'm a horrifically optimistic person, even when I'm depressed, you know, which happens once in a blue moon. But I tend to stick forward, smile, and be the shining light that people want to see in every day. I can look now and say, I'm going to keep doing things the way I do them my own way, because that's what got me to where I'm at. That's what got me to the dance, you know? And if I changed that and just did what other people wanted, it would be a spit in the face of everything that I've done now. Like, my on all socials is the AKIRA way. And it's not just, you know, a cute little fucking acronym. It's not a cute little phrase. Not an acronym, but it's, you know, it's not just a cute little fucking quirky catchphrase for people. It's how I've lived my entire life in pro wrestling. Because when I was younger, I would always listen to what other people wanted me to do. And I ended up being a miserable human being. I was not happy in life. I was not happy in my career. I was not happy with my hobbies. But when I finally decided to say, I'm going to do things my way, you can't tell me what I'm going to do. I'm going to exist. I'm going to thrive. And I'm going to pursue the things that I want to do. It led me to here. And here's better than wherever I was.
Oh man, again, just from the spectator point of view, I mean, you can definitely see it all along the way that you look. But man, you know, I mean, you know, I look forward to your continued international adventures and endeavors, but moving on to some adventures that we have gotten to see. I mean, you got to film an episode of The Life of for IWTV, you know, one of my personal favorite docu-series out there. You know, what was it like recording your day-to-day life?
I had to choose what to show and what not to show. There were some things that I just chose not to show, because I wanted those to be personal memories. Like, and people would ask why I wasn't recording it, and I said, because I don't want other people to see this. I want this just for me. Like, after Masha won the title, the GCW title, I didn't record anything because I feel like some things, some moments just need to be for yourself. Not everyone needs to see it. It's not some kind of censorship. It's just that's a memory I'm going to keep to myself to the day I die, you know? And that time is going to come someday, but I can think about it and be like, that was our moment, you know, that was her moment and I was there for it. And I got to hold her in front of the Melrose, sold out, as she won. And I cried in her ear and said I was so proud of her. No one's going to get to truly experience that. No one's going to see how I felt in that moment. That was mine. But there was other times, like when SPO died, where I felt like something had to be said because he was an important part of my life. You know, he was there when I started. It was things like that. There was a lot of lows, you know, like as I said, like you witness, as they even advertised it, you witnessed me go through a change in my life. And it felt, you know, cathartic, I guess, in its own way to show people how I kind of truly am. A little bit of crazy, but really introspective in other ways as well. But I also got to showcase like the fun times, like us swimming with the manatees, cave diving, Disney, all this other stuff. It was fun. People said it was people always said it was a chore to do. It wasn't hard to do. Like I filmed all that in the span of a month and a half, and it was just living life. It's not hard to just press a button and just live life.
Oh, certainly. I mean, that's definitely just that idea of kind of leaving certain moments just on not even, on film, just personal. Like I feel like, that even goes universally for, someone like me, someone like anyone listening to just kind of disconnect and take in those moments.
People forget that, wrestlers are people too. And I've been in there. I've experienced it. You've seen when it's happened to me. When we give too much to people and they take advantage of it and they just do it to hurt you. And I've learned that, once again, not everything needs to be seen by people. They don't deserve it. Some things can just be to yourself, and it's better that way. We have too much access to people. We think we understand and we know people that you think you hate through something that you saw on social media, and you don't actually know them. You don't have a fucking clue about that person. You're just making an assumption off some jaded piece of information someone else is giving you. And I've just decided I don't want to enable that kind of behavior, and I don't want to be that kind of person either. That's why you don't really see me ever, swinging the hammer of judgment on people. Because I don't know fucking people. Unless I truly know you, then I'm going to make a judgment on you. I don't have enough time in the world. I don't have enough energy. I don't have enough life to give to sitting there and just constantly seeing other people's stuff and making judgments on them. And that's what some people just want to do with their lives, and it's sad. And you know what? I said it's not for me.
Well, through it all, I mean, what we definitely got to see as well, I mean, we've gotten to see a whole lot of you. I mean, on the road, on vacation, going to a gaming convention with a short schmuck. I mean,
oh, yeah. Yeah, you made your debut in it. I forgot about that. I honestly did. But yeah, we had a fun time at that. And honestly, that was my first vacation, like an actual vacation, not thinking about wrestling, just living life and having fun in a long time. Even though I lost my job, like I haven't had a job, I do like a day a month at GameStop now, just because I get discounts. But like I don't really have like a shoot job anymore. My job is coaching, training, and wrestling, and promoting Hitman Break Sports. Hashtag hit up at Hitman Break Sports. They have the best cars for all your needs.
Yeah, we still got to see quite a bit of you and quite a range of things, but my main question being that, was there anything that didn't make the final cut that you hoped you would?
I don't recall. I think generally most of everything got in. Like I even won I won the belt and all that shit. That was in there. Basically everything got in, they didn't cut out a whole lot. It was maybe just like the fat of some stuff, but that's fine. It's okay. Like I watched it back and I'm very happy with how it turned out. Coda, food.
Oh, it's feeding time for Coda on this podcast.
Yes, it is. The most important time.
Well, segueing off of the life of, I wanted to kind of sort of gear things forward as we wrap things up into your streaming career, which I will say, having seen you from first stream to,
oh my God, you were there. Oh, brother.
From your first stream to more recent streams, it is definitely like night and day, but how would you personally say your streaming career has grown?
Brother, when I first started streaming, it looked like someone was making a YouTube video in like 2008. It looked like the Numa Numa video. It was that level of quality. It was entertaining, but it was that level of quality. And now, like, we got a whole production value. We're doing a huge fucking stream on Saturday. It's already gonna be happening at that point. Fucking the Made Kira stream, which is gonna be a regular thing once we hit 250 or 500 followers between each one, with a different kind of, we call her Kira, just because it keeps things simple, but it gives people a goal to work towards, an incentive to invite people to come watch the stream. Which once again, I was just schlubbing it in the first couple streams. Now I look generally kind of nice. I'm in front of a green screen. I have a nice mic. I'm playing fucking Xbox Series X games. I'm playing PS5 games. Hopefully, we've raised enough money for the Made Kira gaming desktop so that we can do other things that we want to do, media goals and media objectives and whatnot. just it's a complete difference. You watch those original streams, and it looked like it was recorded by a potato. But now we're putting out I think some pretty good content. The streams are generally entertaining. They're becoming more and more consistent. It just depends on wrestling because life's kind of crazy, and I have to spend time with my significant other. It's so different now. Like the quality is different. We have more than two people watching. We have if anything we have a minimum of 20 of or an average of 20 people, which is great. That happened over the course of the past 5 months, 5 6 months. People coming in and watching. People want to collaborate. I believe Jess Havoc said she wanted to stream together. Mia Yim hops in my chat sometimes. Sometimes we see Effie, we see Speedball. We're growing, just like in life, just like in pro wrestling, we're growing, and it's really cool. And I'm doing this made Kira character now, which is I've basically become. I'm just gonna say it. I'm a more open like bisexual guy now, but it's kind of an embrace of my femininity as well because we all know I'm a pretty bitch. And literally, I did that maid stuff. Most people couldn't tell I was a dude. Masha's mom saw me and thought I was just some girl in the house. She was like, "Who is that?" And I go, "Yo." She goes, "Akira?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Yo, what's up?" It was amazing. But it's also I'm also seeing people's true colors. And like we all saw someone who got angry and said, "What is this shit, man?" And it was pretty funny. I don't think anything of it, but I'm just saying how people are, and it's a project for I did the project as a goal for the fans, for my followers, but it was also something I wanted to do for me, just to show another side of me, show the softer, feminine side. And I think it's good representation for the LGBTQ community. They've taken to it, they love it, and kind of being a part of that community, it's just nice. And we'll see how how the numbers stack up. And I know Twitch loves characters now. Like like what was that the doctor dude, like the gimmicky characters. They love that kind of stuff now. So we'll see, if this pushes the stream to another level, which it might.
Oh, definitely. We'll definitely see on that. But I gotta say too, I was very I remember just seeing the cell phone cam pictures of you and your getup before we even saw the proper pictures, and I was blown away at how well you pulled off the look too. I didn't expect you to go all in on the idea. I thought you were just gonna throw on a maid outfit. I didn't expect
it would have been rude and I think disrespectful to the idea if I didn't go all the way in. When I said that I was going to do it, when I say I do anything, I'm going all the way in. It doesn't matter. Like Effie said, I wrestled Effie in that tag match for GCW, and we're like, bite the tongue. He's like, "You gonna bite my tongue?" And I go, "Yeah, bitch, I bit his tongue." I bit his tongue, and Effie comes to me and goes, "I think you just unlocked a new kink in me because I was not expecting you to bite me like that."
And I mean, at the core of that too, did you expect that kind of reaction once the pictures went live, the preview pictures?
No. I thought the deathmatch groups would hate it. I was just like some of the XPW people that are like, "What is this girly shit, man?" And everyone's like, "Shut the fuck up!" Like it's cool, it's entertaining, and he looks good. You can't say shit if he looks good. I was shocked by the reception, but there's some people that think I'm trans, and I'm like, that's not really the case, but it does feel like another part of me that's being represented, and it's nice to do.
Now, Kira, as we take it home right here, I not to just make assumptions here and say there's got to be a next time, but where do you think, where do you want to see yourself by the next time we get to chat in this juncture?
Back to Japan numerous times for different companies. I'd like to debut in New Japan. So there's that. I'd like to maybe, cross the streams and appear on other TV. I want to be the guy that you don't know what he's going to do next. The truly crazy character. I guess that's why, I feel like kind of a kindred spirit in a certain Death Rider where you don't know what he's going to do next. You don't know where he's going to appear. But when you do, your eyes are open. So that's the goal. And I'd like to maybe, within the next year or two, stab that man in the head with a fork. That's not what I do.
Well, man, time will tell. on that by the next time we get to meet up and chat in this juncture. But Akira, it's always a big pleasure to have you here to chat like this. Please let the people know where we can find you, where we can support you. The floor is all yours.
What's up, y'all? My name is Akira. I'm the Death Fighter. You can catch me on MLW, which is on YouTube for free. You can catch MLW on YouTube for free. You can also catch the pay-per-views once a month on Fight TV. And the pay-per-views are actually really, really good. Come hang out. You can also catch me on social media on Instagram, Facebook, at the Akira Way. Same for Instagram, Facebook, and X, because it's not Twitter anymore. You can also see me on, it's just at the Akira Way on Twitch too. So yeah, all those formats. You've got my Patreon, which is just the Death Samurai. My link tree is on all my profiles. So I have a whole lot of other stuff, other content you can like, and keep an eye out for more Twitch streams. Like the Twitch is just like, it's fun, but it helps pay bills. Catch me at shows near you. Join the Discord, which is, once again, if you hop in the Twitch streams, we plug the Discord all the time. The community is actually growing. It's probably grown the most this year. It has in a while. James, you're a part of it. You've seen it.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's all my socials, man. Also, you buy my merch at deathsamurai.com or at stiffblade.com.
Yeah, shout out Stiffblade, by the way. But yeah, I mean, that'll do it here from Top Rope Writing. Thank you all for listening to this interview. Please be sure to follow us over on Twitter at Top Rope Writing. You can catch all of our articles and interviews over at topropewriting.com. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify for more interviews down the pipeline. But all in all, I'm James Lascuola, and I will see you all on the next one.